Trump went all in on his #1 priority and just got absolutely crushed in the most devastating legal defeat of his career. The federal court didn't just rule against him, they completely destroyed every argument while exposing his real motives in brutal detail. This isn't just another loss, this is career-ending stuff. Hit subscribe right now, because the shocking details of how Trump lost everything will blow your mind, and the fallout is already changing everything. The $50 billion gamble that backfired. Trump didn't just lose a court case, he lost control of a $50 billion federal contracting system that would have given him unprecedented power over government spending. The administration spent 18 months restructuring entire federal agencies, reassigning hundreds of officials, and creating new oversight mechanisms specifically designed to funnel contracts through Trump-approved channels. Internal documents reveal Trump personally attended 23 strategy meetings about this initiative, calling it the key to everything in recorded conversations with advisors. But here's what nobody realized until the court filing dropped last week. This wasn't just about money, it was about creating a permanent power structure that would survive future administrations. The judge didn't just block the plan, they ordered a complete reversal of every change made over those 18 months, effectively erasing Trump's entire shadow government infrastructure. The constitutional crisis nobody saw coming. The court ruling revealed that Trump's team had secretly invoked emergency powers typically reserved for wartime, claiming an ongoing administrative crisis that justified bypassing Congress entirely. Legal experts are calling it the most aggressive expansion of executive authority attempted since the Civil War, with Trump's lawyers arguing that modern federal bureaucracy constitutes a clear and present danger to national security. The administration had quietly implemented this emergency framework across 47 federal agencies, giving Trump direct control over everything from environmental regulations to immigration enforcement without legislative approval. The most shocking revelation came when the court uncovered communications showing Trump planned to extend these emergency powers indefinitely, essentially creating a permanent state of executive control. What made this defeat so devastating wasn't just the legal precedent. It was the discovery that Trump had come within weeks of activating the final phase, which would have made congressional oversight nearly impossible to restore. The Supreme Court, betrayal that sealed his fate. Everyone expected the Supreme Court to save Trump when this case inevitably reached them, but internal court communications leaked during discovery show 3 conservative justices had already decided to vote against him before oral arguments even began. The leaked memos reveal Chief Justice Roberts privately called Trump's legal theory constitutionally indefensible, and warned other justices that supporting it would destroy the court's credibility permanently. Justice Thomas, typically Trump's most reliable ally, wrote in a private communication that the case represented executive overreach so extreme it makes Nixon look restrained. The court's preliminary ruling wasn't just a rejection. It included unprecedented language, stating that Trump's interpretation of presidential powers fundamentally misunderstands the constitutional framework established by the founders. But here's the twist that ended Trump's hopes completely. The court didn't just rule against him, they fast-tracked the case specifically to prevent him from running out the clock until after the election. The Republican revolt that nobody predicted. Trump's own party delivered the most shocking betrayal when 47 Republican senators signed a joint letter opposing his emergency powers grab, calling it an unprecedented threat to constitutional governance. The letter, obtained through court discovery, reveals that Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell had been secretly coordinating with Democratic leadership for months to build bipartisan opposition to Trump's plan. Even more damaging were the recorded phone calls, where prominent Republican governors openly discussed plans to challenge Trump's authority in their states, with several threatening to mobilize National Guard units to resist federal takeover attempts. The most devastating moment came when Trump's own former vice president submitted a sworn affidavit detailing conversations where Trump explicitly stated his intention to permanently restructure American government, regardless of election outcomes. The final straw was when Trump's plan would have eliminated Republican governors' authority over state-federal partnerships, effectively neutering the entire party structure below the presidential level. The financial empire that crumbled overnight. Court documents revealed Trump had leveraged nearly $2.3 billion in personal and corporate assets as collateral for legal fees and lobbying efforts related to this single case, creating a financial house of cards that collapsed the moment he lost. The Trump Organization had taken out massive loans against properties in New York, Florida, and Scotland, specifically betting that victory in this case would generate enough federal contract opportunities to cover the debt payments. Internal financial records show Trump's accountants had warned him repeatedly that this level of leverage was financially suicidal, but he ignored their advice while borrowing against assets already tied up in other legal proceedings. When the court ruled against him, it triggered automatic default clauses in dozens of loan agreements, forcing immediate payment of debts Trump simply cannot cover. Banking sources confirm that Trump's liquid assets can cover less than 15% of his current obligations, meaning he faces potential bankruptcy proceedings that could begin within 60 days. The international humiliation that changed everything. Foreign intelligence services had been monitoring Trump's legal strategy for months, and leaked diplomatic cables show allied nations were preparing contingency plans in case Trump successfully seized emergency powers over the federal government. The cables, released through court proceedings, reveal that NATO allies had privately discussed suspending intelligence sharing with the United States if Trump's constitutional coup succeeded, viewing it as a fundamental threat to democratic governance. Most embarrassing were the intercepted communications between Russian and Chinese officials, who openly mocked Trump's legal team's incompetence while expressing genuine concern that American political instability could destabilize global markets. But the most humiliating revelation came when court documents showed that Trump's own ambassadors had been secretly briefing foreign governments about the legal challenges, essentially admitting that they expected Trump to lose. The legacy destruction that nobody can reverse. The court's final ruling didn't just defeat Trump's immediate plans. It established legal precedents that will prevent any future president from attempting similar power grabs, essentially Trump-proofing the Constitution for generations. Legal scholars are already calling it the most important separation of powers decision since Marbury versus Madison, with the court's language specifically designed to close constitutional loopholes that Trump's team had identified and exploited. The ruling includes detailed explanations of why each aspect of Trump's strategy violated constitutional principles, creating a legal roadmap that will be cited in law schools and courtrooms for decades. Most devastating to Trump's political future is the court's finding that his actions demonstrated a fundamental incompatibility with democratic governance, language that legal experts say could be used to challenge his eligibility for future office under the 14th Amendment. Trump bet everything on becoming the most powerful president in American history, and instead created the legal framework that will forever prevent anyone from threatening our democracy the way he did. If this complete destruction of Trump's ultimate power grab shocked you as much as it shocked us, smash that subscribe button and help us keep exposing the truth that mainstream media won't tell you.